Apart from this, obviously, we haven't actually done anything to this yet. So when we open it, we get the root dir, we make sure that that's all good. What we want to do is basically copy whatever the directory is, sort of. Oh, go away, iTunes. No one likes you. Actually, I'll do folder instead. I think that makes more sense. Open. Yeah, so we'll copy a folder. So if result is not null, then we'll copy the folder to whatever our current working directory is. Right. So the current working directory, by the time we get to open it, by the time we do this, we should have a directory that's set to test/simple. So we already know what the working directory is, right? So what I'm going to do is put in file system, put import file system here. I'm going to copy a directory. Is there no method of copying? Let's see. Is there any method of copying whatsoever? IO file. Let's check. And here, copy of the file to the file specified in destination path. Does it allow for directories to be copied? It doesn't specifically say that. Copies the contents of the file specified by src path to the file specified by destination path. We might need to create a function for this, because obviously, by the looks of it, there is no such function. So it might be the case that I have to make it. Okay, that's fine. Bit annoying, but we'll do it anyway. So let's go back into our file system extender. Public static function. Copy directory. Path string. So first of all, check to see if the directory exists. I'm surprised there is no copy function, to be honest. Exists. Path. If it does, all well and good. So what I'm going to do is normalize it first. Just always normalize. There's no copy thing here either. So, let's do this. And then what I'm going to do is create a private static function which is going to be copy files. So we're going to copy the files from a directory to the destination. So dest, which is going to be string. Probably want to check to see if the destination exists as well. Destination. So we copy. So in order to copy the files, what I'm going to do is we pass in a file. Copy files from within the directory to the destination path. Yeah. So you pass in the path, and we are going to check how many files there are in that path. So we get read directory. which I believe is what we're looking for. All the files and directories in the directory specified by path, which is what we're looking for. And we will pass that in. Results. In fact, we could probably just do this. And then we'll just say, okay, if well, first of all, let's iterate through the results because that's obviously going to be important. So we'll do results.length there like that. We'll say for again type and then what we're going to do is check to see if that file is in fact a directory. So we'll say file system dot is directory file. If it isn't, then we're going to copy that file. Copy file to whatever the destination is. What would be the best way to do this? Yeah, I'm just gonna say, hang on, need to import it first. Import file. I wish this would just work. That would be nice. File, there we go, finally, get there in the end. File.copy, so we know that, well, if it's a directory, then we just want to create a directory, obviously. So we'll just say file system.create directory, destination plus, and then whatever that directory is, plus file, like that. That'll do. That'll do. We'll say destination there as well. Right. If it isn't a directory, then we just want to copy the file. Right. So we'll just say file dot copy. Ow. We want to copy the file that we get from the results and put it into the destination path. How would we go about doing that? Do that. Followed by, now we can't just copy it in because we also need to know whether, actually, can we just do it? We might just be able to do it because, yeah, we'll just get the full, not the full absolute path, but it will definitely get the relative path. So it might just be the case of just doing this. Let's just doing that. Might just work. Copy directory. There we go. So we get that, and we just copy that directory over to our simple project folder. So it's just a case of file system extender.copy directory result, and then the destination is simple tests. Actually, no, we set it, and we set it, don't we? Of course we do. So we don't even need to do that. We'll just put it in info like that. We'll just do that. Sounds good. It might work. Let's check it. Let's check to see if that works, shall we? So we copy the directory, we open it. What we might want to do is sort of freeze the client while it's opening, just in case, because obviously if the client is already open and we overwrite some files, oh, all of a sudden it crashes. So we probably want to prevent it from live previewing, sort of, while the copying is in effect, right? So how would we go about doing that? Well, it's pretty simple. We've got our live client here. We can just simply send a message to the client input, or to be output. This is confusing, right? This is output and these two are input. So I'm assuming it's going to be our client output, right? So let's say we want to freeze freeze live preview, right? So we want to freeze the live preview, so we'll send a message to the client by saying client output, possibly. Oh, that's read. Oh, right, yeah, of course. Duh. Right, so yeah, it would be client input. So we just write a message. So I'm just going to say freeze, right? And when we come to the live preview, if we go back into here, oops. If we go back into here, we will just check to see what the freeze is. So what I'm going to do is just add is frozen, which is going to be a boolean. Then we'll just say if is frozen. Oops. Then we're just going to return, right? And what we're going to do is just say, we're not going to do it on enter frame because that's just stupid. Where should I do it? Probably just do it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say file system. We do have file system out, don't we? We have imported it. Yeah. Actually, no, it's not in file system. What am I talking about? It's in here. So I'll just say std in dot read, because we know it's read. It's read string actually. And actually, yeah, it would work. It would be better if we put it down here inside of enter frame. So if read string is freeze, then we're going to say is frozen is equal to string. Else if sys std in dot read string, believe it, that is right. No, it's not. Where does the input go to? Does it go to the output string or the error string? Let's check that. Let's check it, shall we? Might just be wrong entirely. Let's go to api.haxe.org. We're going to go into sys, which is down here somewhere. Here it is. So we go down std in, which is an input instead of an output. So it's sort of in, yeah, it's in reverse. Is that right? Am I saying that right? This is client input, which is right. Input, which is an output there. and here it's an input. So yeah, it would be read. So we're reading. Okay. So what I might do now is unfreeze here, and then that all set is frozen is equal to false. Right? Simple enough. So when we come to actually copying the stuff over, first of all, what we want to do, where am I going? Basic tools, here we are. So we've got our live client, which is going to be somewhere. Let's make it a yeah, we're gonna have to make it a public static, I think. Public static var live client, so that we know that is in fact the case. That it's terrible practice to do this. I'll probably do something a bit differently, but for the time being, for testing purposes, it's just going to be like this. So I am going to freeze live preview, which is going to send that message. We're then going to copy the directory, and then we're going to unfreeze live preview, right? So if we go back to our live client, I am going to say public function unfreeze. We'll call it live. Just freeze, and then we'll say client input dot write string unfreeze, like that. So if we go back into here, it's just a case of freeze, like that. Then we'll say main live client dot unfreeze, and that would be the way in which we communicate with that live client. So if we go back to here, I think that's everything. Is it? Let's find out. Let's find out. So first of all, I am going to make this 0. I am going to use new, where are we? Basic tools. And I am going to set a define for when I build this project. So when I come to build it, just somewhere here, instead of doing all this, I am going to pass in -d live client, like that. Let's hope it works. Oh, got a few errors. Live 152, string should be int 152. Super is missing. What? No, we don't need a super. Okay, let's take a look again. Line 152. Okay, let's take a look. 152 sys.stdin dot read string. It is read string, isn't it? String should be int. What? What are you talking about? I'm assuming, is that what it returns, perhaps? Function argument length. What? Hang on a minute, hang on. Let's go back here. Read string. Where is it? Here. Length. What? Right. I see. Read and as a string. Okay. Let's do read line instead. Read line. equal to that. Read line. Oops. Let's remove that. Okay. So we'll use read line instead, and when we come back to our editor here, I'll probably finish up soon, and because it's almost an hour and a half in, we can get rid of this because we don't need it. Let's go back into, where am I going? I don't know. Live client, here we are. So instead of doing write string, I'll use write line instead. I believe it's, yeah, it would be write line, wouldn't it? Or not. Or would it just be write string? It might just be just write string. Okay, we'll do write string for the time being. That might be the case, might not, we never know. We'll also pass in a \n to make it a new line so that it knows. Might be a good idea. Okay, so let's now check to see if that's all good. Not enough arguments for live client 33. That needs to be null like that. 33. New process. Oh, you actually need arguments. Okay. Didn't know that. Just pass that in. Empty arguments because we don't need to do that. Okay. Let's see now. The return is missing here. Line 30. Oh. Otherwise we'll just return null. Right. Oh, now that I am returning null, it might be a good idea that we check to see if it's null. It's too much stuff to do. Okay. This gets confusing very easily. Basic tools, here we are. Right. Copy directory. Oh yeah, we're not doing that anymore, are we? Okay, never mind. So yeah, let's just go back here and build it. Let's see if it's all good and if we can in fact use it. Okay, so we build it. So that's all good. Oh yes, it's bin cpp bin. CPP bin, yes. That's one thing that I did in fact forget, because we have bin target. Yeah, we need to make sure that we cover that. /cpp/bin like that. Yeah. Do we need to do anything to this as well? I don't think so. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so let's rebuild that. So we've now got tests, simple, and then obviously we'll eventually have bin and other such things there. So that has been built. Okay, let's take a look and see if that has in fact worked. And then it'll close, and then obviously it won't do anything. Oh! basic tools isn't there. That's not good. Got 0 here, so it should just add the child. But obviously the live client isn't opening yet, so yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So let's get rid of that. Got that a bit wrong. We should really be building it in here, because that's where I set the current working directory to. So I'm not entirely sure why it's not doing that. And then we execute that command. Oh, that's why. Obviously, that's why it's not doing it. Okay, never mind. Let's instead do. Let's close this. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'll go back to main, and then I'll just set the current working directory again. Set current working directory. And that will be whatever the directory of the executable is. So I'll just say this dot executable path. And instead of doing test simple, we'll do that instead. So let's get that out of recycle bin. Put it back in. Good thing about the recycle bin, eh? Okay. So we got it out of the bin the recycle bin, and so we will test this once again. Actually, we don't need to build it. We just need to open it and see what it does. So it shouldn't really do much. It should just be the case of, okay, we're opening it. Need to drag it over really, so that you know what's going on here. Okay. Although the basic tools isn't appearing, which is not right. We've got basic tools design here. Add events list, we resize, okay, we relocate. That sort of thing. We're doing super, aren't we? Super. Basic tools design. But why isn't it appearing? It's assets.getBitmapData. We need to put the images in here so that it knows that that is in fact the images we're using. Such is the way of things. Such is the way of things. Copy these over into here, duplicating things, but that is the way of things, unfortunately. Okay. So let's go back to here. This should now work properly, as we might expect. We might be able to see the results and also be able to test our open. What I'm going to do is probably open a directory for one of my files. So let's open this, see if it in fact worked. I didn't quite see it. No. For some reason it's still not appearing. Damn it! It's not responding. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so now it's appeared. So for some reason it builds the application, then it appears. Although the live previewing client hasn't appeared, which is weird. So that's what you would expect, right? Live client is equal to new live client. Is there something in process that I'm missing? Perhaps. Let's go back to live clients. Where did I put it? There it is. Right. So we create the process. We say the path exists. Or does it? Maybe that's the problem. Close. Well, obviously that's going to close it. Okay. Okay. Let's do an else, and let's just do my dialogues thing. So we'll do dialogues dot message file does not exist, and then we'll put in the file, the destination path that we're looking at, path like that. Error. Yeah, I'll just put error for the time being. Okay, so let's rebuild that, see if that works. Oh, I didn't close it. Might be a good idea. Okay, let's build this, see if it is good or not. Who knows? Onto HaxeLive editor. It is now building. It's not going to build for long because obviously we haven't made any changes to it. File does not exist. Bin / Windows. So this is the error message that's coming up. File does not exist. Bin / Windows / CPP. Oh, yes, that's okay. So now we know that's the reason why. So let's close that, and we know what the problem is now. I am going to go back to main. I am going to put in $sys. No, I can't do that, can I? Sys dot executable path plus that. Right. Do I need to do that? Maybe. Who knows? Well, we'll check. We'll be able to see it anyway because we got that error message up. So let's rebuild that. Check to see if that's good or not. Open. It's going to build the live previewing client. Again, well, I'll probably add something to check to see if it actually works or not. Look at that. Executable. Yeah, I kind of obviously didn't realize that was the case. Yeah, so I'm going to need to use my file get root dir like that. That will probably work, hopefully. So let's now take a look at that. So let's rebuild. And then we'll go into open it up again. Okay, so now it's actually opened both the editor and the live previewing client, which is like that, and it is not responding because obviously standard input and output is a blocking thing. That's not good. That is not good. Can't do that. Can't do read line, I don't think. You don't want to be blocking it. So yeah, that's not a good idea. So let's close that. So we know that works, at least partially, but we need to go back into here and make sure that it doesn't block, because this is what's causing the block, and then obviously it stops responding because it's blocking. So best thing to do, let's go back to here. I think it all blocks actually. All possible implementations. Does it all block? Let's go back to here. Usually it will block until the user sends a forward. Yeah, thought so. So yeah, we probably want to just do get car then. Read a single input character from the standard input without blocking and returns it. Setting echo to true will also display it on the output. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to get those cars, and we also want to obviously get that character string. So what I'm going to do is probably create a result in that live preview. So private var let's call it input result. It's going to be a string. And I'm going to say over here private function read car int, and inside here what I'm going to say is what do I call it again? Input result. Yeah, okay, so we do input result plus equals whatever that result is. So we will do something. We want to get the character string value. So let's just take a look at the string. I think there's some static methods that allow you to do it. From car code, yeah, that's the one. So from car code, so we'll do that. From car code I, like that. So that's the input result, so we'll just say read car like that. And then I'll just say on enter read car, and then we'll say what would it be? sys.getCar, like that. And we are not going to echo it. I believe it's false by default, but let's just put it there anyway, just in case. And then what I'm going to do is in read car, I'm going to say if might just do new line, or rather just car. So if we do string dot from car code I, and if put car there, and if car is equal to \n, then what we want to do is read that input result. So, or at least read it from the last time it sort of created a new line, I suppose. So what we would do is switch input line, input result even. We would do a case freeze, and then we'll say is frozen is equal to true, case unfreeze is frozen is equal to false. And if we do get a \n, what we want to do is just reset input result to empty, right? Because we don't care about that result anymore. And then we just continue like that. And if is frozen is return is true, then that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's test that and see if that does in fact work and doesn't block the way that it did just now. So let's close that. I am just simply going to open it up again because it's going to rebuild anyway. So it's going to build. Obviously, it's HaxeLive editor. It's building at the moment, so we'll see the results in a minute. And what do you know? The HaxeLive editor is no longer blocking. We can now check to see if it freezes or not. So let's go into here. I am going to select a folder that I want to copy over, so I'm just going to take that over here a minute, 2 seconds. Let's go into actually, yeah, let's use one of my current JSON files in HaxeLive editor. So let's go back into here. Excuse me. So yeah, I'll copy this folder here, select folder. Oh, file open checkbox.json. Can't open it. That's not good. Obviously, this is still running. So obviously there's something wrong with the copying. But I think I'm going to leave it here. It's been almost 2 hours now. 1 hour and 45 minutes, as you can see up there. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. In tomorrow's video, we'll go on to actually fixing it and making sure that it works 100% before we then move on to being able to doing that create dialogue, which is what I more or less wanted to do in this, but it's best that we get this basic functionality